Let's talk about some things that are overlooked in season 3 of Stranger Things, specifically episode 1. Susie, do you copy? Hi, I'm Alexandra, aka There Must Be More to This, and I like analyzing TV stuff like sci fi, fantasy, Stranger Things, Warrior Princess. I also like comedy and do some comedy skits. But right now, today, we're talking about season 3 and some moments in my rewatch that I think we should pay attention to. And this is more specifically if you're interested in Conformity Gate, Metagate, all the gates related to Stranger Things. Episode 1 starts with the Russians. They are Alexei and this other guy attempting to open a gate. They use the two keys, which we later see in the season finale as being integral in closing the gate. But it doesn't work. It explodes. And then Alexei is given a year to figure out how to make the keys not make things explode. And allegedly he does, and yet we see that it does explode. Make that make sense. Later, we see the kids go to the mall to go to the movies. They see Steve Harrington, and we get something that we have seen in season 2 and that I've been starting to notice in a lot of the other seasons, a reference to them being dead. Lucas, Max, Elle, Mike, Will say, "We're dead," in unison. Right before going to see the movie Day of the Dead, where we have a shot of Max that is linked to one of the lead characters in Day of the Dead. To really emphasize the point, when they get to the mall, Erica says to Lucas, so many moments pointing out them being dead. And I know you could say it's just a figure of speech, but to insist it more than once, when you write a show, you have free reign. You make choices. That's an intentional choice. When Dustin's coming home from camp, he radios to everyone to say that he's arrived. He calls himself the Gold Leader. I think that's very important to note. I've been looking up what that could mean. There is a significance of gold throughout the series. That is a later topic for another video. But I will jump around to say that I've also looked into his t-shirt called Roast Beef, and it linked to the nursery rhyme, this little piggy. The third little piggy in the nursery rhyme is roast beef. This little piggy had roast beef. And so then I thought of Dustin being a pig. Gaten is playing a pig in Animal Farm in a movie coming up. So I think there is a link between him being a pig. There's also a lot of Norse mythology symbolism going throughout Metagate. So I looked up what the pig means in Norse mythology. And there is a gold boar, a battle boar in Norse mythology. So it's very possible that he is that boar. Later on that, hold that thought for another video. When he gets home, the kids are waiting for him, about to surprise him, which I think is kind of crazy given what they've experienced. I would hate to be surprised that way. But they have all the Elle makes the toys come to life, and Dustin says twice, "It's just a dream. I'm dreaming." References to dreams. That is a recurring motif throughout the show. Cut to Joyce and Hopper talking at Melvald's. We see that a lot of shops have gone out of business, and that is because of Starcourt Mall. Jim Hopper is complaining about Mike corrupting Elle. Behind him is watchwear. Now, we also know watches and clocks are a big thing in Stranger Things. I don't know what to make of it, that it's the wristband, but I know it's important, because why would they put that there if not to make us look at it and ask why? This one's going to seem really random, but I thought it was random in itself. Lucas, in his pain-stained eyes have been sprayed by Dustin because he was shocked by the surprise, as he should be after having to fight creatures from different dimensions. He points out Max's zit. He's like, "Is that a new zit? Strange. I don't know why, but strange." Then we cut to Dustin, Mike, uh, Will, and Elle talking, and Dustin is showing off his gadgets. It's a forever clock powered by wind, and he says it's good for an apocalypse. And then he shows a powered hammer that just goes and goes and goes. This is where Norse mythology pops back in. The third gift. Long story short, Loki causes mischief, which results in the creation of the Golden Boar and the Hammer of Thor. But going back to the pigs, the Golden Boar. I focused too much on the pigs here, so I wanted to add that Dustin also plays a dwarf in D&D, and Loki gets dwarves to make these gifts, the Golden Boar, Thor Hammer, etc. But yeah, so that was also what clued me. And then Will calls Cerebro a ham radio. There are too many pig references to Dustin not to make note of it. This is the biggest note, though, about Dustin in episode 1. He says he can talk to his girlfriend whenever and wherever. Whenever? Not whenever, really, right? Because if we're talking about how much time it takes to go up that hill, run up that hill, assemble that radio, it wouldn't be that he can just pull her up like with a cell phone. But if he means whenever, that, ladies and gentlemen and peoples, time travel reference. How is he going to have a forever clock and then a ham radio that he could speak to his girlfriend whenever and wherever? And they went to Camp Nowhere. Shoutouts to the film Camp Nowhere. Again with the spirals. I need to do another video separately on Camp Nowhere. I'm still trying to piece things together, but obviously Camp Nowhere, Christopher Lloyd, who was in Back to the Future, there are too many references to time travel in this one bit alone. And then there was the commercial with Karen Wheeler and Tide where it pointed out she was cleaning his camp shirt. Why is she cleaning Dustin's camp shirt? And then they flash an image of this moment. It's because they wanted us to pay attention to this moment. Now, the last quick thing I'm going to say in this part about episode 1 is about Steve Harrington when he's at Chips Ahoy. So he's talking to the ladies, he's like losing it out, not doing well. He takes off the hat, and Robin says, "Oh, you're a whole new man." And then he says, his old spiel of like, "Come on the seas with me, and I'm the captain." Now, at first, this seems innocuous. But given the references to the USS Eldridge, to Captain Midnight, Hawley's telescope. Is that the right term for that kind of one? Where it says Captain Midnight, and references in Conformity Gate and Metagate to captains. This is significant. There is something about Steve. I don't know what it is, and this video doesn't really have a lot of explanations, but just more things to ask. Comment if you have any questions or notice anything from this episode. All right, I'll say more in another video about this episode and other episodes of Season 3. Have a great day, and follow for more.